Nick Nittoli. Oh, I gotta do it.
What up, Mike?
Hey, Nick. Thank you so much.
Hey, what's up, man?
Dead Side, thank you so much for that host. I appreciate that, buddy. Moving Dutchman, thank you for those woos. I appreciate it. Wait, so like women, if they shave certain areas when hair grows back, it tend to itch. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I didn't do like the hardcore shave. Like I think if I would have did the razor shave, it would have sucked.
I think you're being way too hard on yourself, man. I think it's sexy.
You like it? You know what?
Like
Some people were saying I look better with it. Some people were saying I look, and I know they're lying. They're just trying to make me feel good, but that is not sexy. I'm sorry, but that is not. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks, Lovely Lace. I agree. Nick Nittoli, thank you so much for being on the show, my friend.
That's the kind of haircut that makes your wife love you for you.
Well, yeah, exactly. If she didn't love me for me, she would definitely been. But you know what she was talking about on her stream? She's like, you know what I realized about my husband's haircut? Love is conditional as fuck. And of course, yeah. Anyways, yeah, the shit is conditional. I know. But, I feel like having that bit of danger in relationships, and not to say that our relationship is that weak that it can't withstand a week of this terrible haircut, but there is something to a relationship where, because you can get really comfortable with relationships, and you can start taking them for granted. And
That's true.
And that's when people start, stepping out on their boo, or and they start creating these secret lives and stuff, and there's no open communication, and so I think it's good to have that little bit of threat that love is a bit conditional, right? I mean, because I don't know, how do you feel? I mean, do you like the idea that there, I think you have a girlfriend, right? Like, I think I heard that. Okay, so like I feel like it's a good thing to not just be reliant that person's gonna be there through all your shit if you're not giving it the attention it needs. The relationship. Do you agree with that? I mean,
I think it's good to test the boundaries a little bit. I think that if you have a partner who really cares about you and really loves you, they'll love you regardless of what you look like. So I feel like that haircut is definitely testing the boundaries of love right there.
Testing the boundaries of love. Hey, man, love is dangerous, like putting yourself out there and putting your heart out on the line. It's vulnerable. It's something that you don't know what's going to happen with that.
Big time, man. One of the things that I feel like my project is all about is just putting yourself out there. I mean, we're on our 30-second music video now.
Yeah.
When we started, it didn't look as good as it looks right now. Yeah. It didn't look like shit, but it didn't look as good as it looks right now. So it's like you have to be vulnerable. You have to be confident in yourself in order to put yourself out there. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people are missing. They'll never take that chance. They'll never put themselves out there and be vulnerable enough to accept criticism and get better at what they do.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. A lot of people don't even get to that. You said that your videos have gotten better, so I imagine that there was a time when you're like, well, this is what we have, and this is all we can put out, but I'm going to do it because it's like, fuck it, I got to go for it. I got to do it. Most people don't even get to that point because, I've seen people who are talking like, like streaming, for instance. Streaming has been a big part of my life over this last year because my job was taken away from me. I'm a full-time musician. So your job was taken away as well, right? Well, I don't know how much of a performer or a gigging musician you are.
I make my business off songwriting and producing for other artists.
So you didn't stop at all, right? You didn't lose your job at all. Did you find that you got more busy after the pandemic struck?
Much less.
Much less busy?
Much less.
Wow.
Yeah.
I forgot what I was even talking about before that.
Vulnerability?
Yeah, vulnerability, I guess. No, well, oh yeah. Most people don't even take that step outside themselves to even put out something that, when I talk to people about streaming, they're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to stream, but it's like, I got to make sure I have the right camera. I got to make sure I have the right lighting, or I know people, and I built my YouTube up to monetize, and it's like, same story. It's like, well, I'm going to get my YouTube up. I just got to get the right camera. I got to get the right this. Right. And it's really just an excuse to put off being vulnerable and putting something out there and being judged. I imagine because your work is I mean you say some stuff in your work. Do you get any bad reactions to like the verbiage that you use?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. How do you
I mean,
handle that?
I'm kind of built of Teflon. Like I'm ready for it. There's a
Uh,
reason why I'm so controversial in my music is because I'm expecting that backlash and I know
mhm,
how to handle it. I've got really tough skin.
mhm.
But at the end of the day, like a lot of people do not react to me the way that I would, want them to in a perfect world.
Right, right. What's I mean, you're well aware of our environment and I'm not judging, by the way. I think it's awesome. I'm
Sure.
not judging at all. But you're aware of the environment we are in. Why do you want to put out music that inflames the people?
Yeah, I think it goes back to like the fact that I've got a message that I
Mhm.
want to get out. And so sometimes the way of going about that message might not look or sound the way that people would like to have it perceived, or it's not, something that tickles their fancy.
Yeah.
But for me, I really don't care because that I'm trying to get my message out. So for instance, I've got a song where I'm talking about how people like Tupac Shakur and Jimi Hendrix probably wouldn't be that famous in today's world of social media. And the first line of that song is, "I'm happy Tupac died." And I kind of pause and say, way before the effing swipe up,
Yeah.
because what I'm basically saying is, I'm happy Tupac's not here for this swipe up game that we're doing. And Tupac's not saying, "Hey, follow me on Twitch and Facebook." And I love the fact that we didn't have that when Tupac was around. So I'm trying to get your ears to
Mhm.
listen to me first and foremost.
Right.
I mean, Tupac's one of my favorite artists. I'm not
Yeah.
happy that he died, but
Yeah.
I am happy that he died before this culture and this cancel culture came around.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I just I do what I do to grab listeners. But
Mhm.
then once I got them, my message is at the end of the day what I think is a good message.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, what is your take? What is your take on cancel culture? How do
Oh
you
man,
feel? I mean,
how, how much time you got?
how much time do you got?
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing, like what's happening in this country right now is Nazi Germany being replayed. Like they're burning the books, they're getting rid of music that they don't find acceptable. They're canceling characters that we grew up on like Mr. Potato Head and making him gender fluid and stuff. And at the end of the day, what they're really trying to do is silence us. They're really trying to tell us what's acceptable and what's not in their new world, and trying to order us around and get us to kind of comply with whatever the new, idea is. And it's like this country has been running just fine for a very long time and raised some amazing people that we all still worship and still look up to. So it's like, what is so bad in the water that we had to change the sewage pipes? It doesn't really make sense to me.
So, you're referencing Mr. Potato Head, and recently we
Mhm.
had Pepe Le Pew, and like
Yeah.
right now, Pepe Le Pew and
Let's get something straight. Pepe Le Pew's a rapist.
he is a rapist.
He should have been gone a long time ago.
So then you do think something should be eliminated?
Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, it's like there's characters who probably don't portray the best image.
Mhm.
But I think if you raise your kids right, and if you're doing the step work that you need to do in your house, then most people who watch Pepe Le Pew didn't go out and rape anybody. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what's the diagnostics on that? They don't have any numbers for that. They're
Right.
just saying, we don't like it. We want it gone. And the moment that we give into this cancel culture, we're open to losing everything. We're open to losing so many more of our favorite characters and things that we grew up on and things that make America America. And that's where I draw the line and say, like, we shouldn't be canceling anything. You have the right to turn the channel, and we have freedom of speech in this country. So I don't understand what's happening.
So then, like for Pepe Le Pew, the rapist, then do you think that he should still exist on TV?
Sure.
A-
Sure.
And then, so do you think those disclaimers that Disney has started doing at the beginning of the show?
God.
Do you think that's ridiculous
I
too?
saw one of those the other day. I was watching a Disney Plus movie. It was an older one.
Right.
And they came out and said, there's depictions of people in this that are racist. We're very sorry about it, but we're still going to play the movie.
Right.
I'm like,
We're still gonna get that revenue, bitch.
Yeah, like exactly. I'm like, what's the disclaimer for then?
Right. So in your mind, you're saying that, like, you know, if you don't want to expose your kids to some, hey, what's
Yeah.
up, Heaven? Yeah, well, no, he's not, but we were just talking in hyperbole here because everyone's calling him a rapist. And yeah, I mean, it's very questionable behavior that this fake cartoon skunk is doing. But in your opinion, you think that maybe parents should have a little bit more responsibility on what they expose their kids to,
100%.
and
You're
if
taking the
they don't,
responsibility and you're throwing it on Disney and you're throwing it on Cartoon Network when it's like, if you're not doing the work in your house, it all starts in the house, man. If you're raising your kids right and you teach them to not, you know, rape a woman and to when no means no, then Pepe Le Pew shouldn't be able to affect them. Pepe Le Pew's not raising your kids. You know, see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. I'm totally against the cancel culture. I mean, some people
oh
do.
no, cool.
I mean, some people are. I'm just big freedom of speech person, and
Same.
which is not a very popular take these days, which is very
Not
weird.
at all.
Which is very weird that when you think of freedom of speech, you think of like liberal lefties like Noam Chomsky and you
Right.
think of like John Lennon, right? You fucking
Yeah.
think about these liberals, these classically liberal people, and now it's like, wait a second, now it's kind of flipped. And now, like, if you do believe in something like freedom of speech, now you're a white supremacist.
Right.
What? How did?
Yeah.
how,
The
how
big
did,
jump.
how
I mean,
did,
at the end of the day, like I said, cancel culture is really control culture. You know
right.
what I mean? At the end of the day, what are they trying? What's their end goal by canceling these things? They're trying to control what we see, what we hear, and what's allowed on television.
Right.
Well, anything's allowed on television because we live in a free country where freedom of speech is, you know, part of our constitution. So it's like, what's really happening right now? And if you're really looking closely, you're seeing that big brother is starting to tell you what you can and can't do and what you can and can't say. And I'm ultimately against that till I die, because people fought very hard in wars to make sure that we're allowed to have Pepe Le Pew and we're allowed to have Mr. Potato Head and we're allowed to do whatever the hell we want and say whatever we want, you know, in some form of moderation, you know, with some responsibility towards it.
Yeah. It's getting to that point now where we're fucking we're not allowed to say how we just feel about a thing. Like, and what I've been doing a lot on this show, because it is a music show, is that I like to bring it back to music, because even like right now, like a big movie that's sort of getting people's attention is oh my god, why do I keep forgetting? Andre Day's in it. It's Billie Holiday, the Billie Holiday movie. And when you look at like the history of censorship in music, I mean, even stretching back to the medieval times, you know, when the Devil's Triad was outlawed, and you know, it's like, this has been going on for years, and it's only because people are trying to censor something because they're trying to speak the truth. They're trying to question power, and that's exactly what we need to do. And Billie Holiday just wanted to sing a song and bring attention to the injustices that were happening in the South, in the American South at the time. And then flash forward to what, Elvis Presley, he was shaking his hips and he was the devil. You know, and they tried silencing him. Meanwhile, he's transcending a whole entire genre of music and bringing us rock and roll, which I know everybody's mad because he stole it from black people, but there's a whole nother issue there.
Sure.
The race issues, the political issues over the years have always been hand in hand with the art. And breaking barriers was one of the things that music did great, because back in the day, you had these jazz musicians, these swing musicians who were bringing multiracial bands with them on the road all over the country. You know, like, so since the beginning of integration, I mean, even before illegal integration, you have music leading the charge on breaking these barriers. And so I feel like when we start suppressing art and we start suppressing culture, that's when you start getting people who there's obviously a power play going on here. There's obviously people don't want you to say certain things that don't align with their mode of power. And if you start questioning it, but that's what's so important about freedom of speech, is because that's how you question power. That's how people can call power out. Yeah, I love Elvis Presley too, right? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fucking, I love Elvis. I love Chuck Berry. I love all. all the classics. I love them all. And we wouldn't have that stuff if censorship fucking existed and was allowed to run rampant. But now
Yeah.
it's weird because it's like the tech companies kind of took in the reins on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Big time.
And I don't know, man. I gotta admit, I loved your interview that you did with Sam Tripoli.
Okay. Oh, you saw that, right on.
Yeah, it was great because it's that kind of speak that I'm very attracted to because it is something that people are trying to say you can't listen to that. I don't like your speech, fucking cancel. We speak English good, right? Right, it is that. Yes, yeah. Well, that's what happened, and that's happened on stream before. That's happened on here. People didn't like what I was saying, and people in the chat started being like, "You fucking, I'm gonna mute you," and it's like, "Well, mute me. I don't give a fuck."
Yeah, that's your American right. Mute me.
I'm gonna keep talking, and this channel is not gonna be for everybody, and that's
Sure.
okay, and that's okay because there's choice. We have freedom to choose what we want. So what I'm just curious on what your take is on like the arts and the censorship, and I mean, like, we're seeing actors lose their jobs and careers and stuff over a post.
Crazy right now, man. I mean, I think at the end of the day, when you start censoring music and art in general, the art suffers the most.
Yeah.
Because not only do we get rid of some of the best stuff like Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley, Eminem, and Tupac Shakur, people who really talked about topics that people aren't really that comfortable with, we lose some of the best art, but also the art that hasn't even been created yet suffers the most. Yeah. Because as an artist, now I'm sitting in my bedroom and feeling an emotion that I want to convey to the world, but I'm starting to think, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that word, or maybe I shouldn't talk about this message. And now art that hasn't even been created starts getting demolished by the corporate media or the cancel culture, the tech giants, whatever you want to call them. They're starting to stop art before it happens because now people are more conscious and conscientious of what they put out because they're afraid. And that's what I think the end goal is. They want people to stop talking about pro Donald Trump stuff. They want people to stop talking about all lives matter. And you know what I mean? People don't want to hear those messages right now. They just want to hear there's a race war, there's a pandemic, and that's all that's going on in our culture. Well, a lot of people don't think that this pandemic was generated naturally. A lot of people think that the United States government is pumping the freaking nanotech technology that they can track you in these vaccines. And even if you don't want to believe that, that's fine. But I should be able to make a song about it. I should be able to express how I feel about it. And that's what makes America America. So we're not only losing all of the great culture and Winnie the Pooh and stuff that we grew up on, but we're also losing the new stuff that hasn't even been created yet. The stuff that's going on in my brain right now is being filtered by, corporate media.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
scary. Like I said, Nazi Germany.
Well, and like what was that girl, that lady from the Mandalorian, Gabby something? She just lost her whole career because of making that same comparison on social media. And it was only because she was just because she was leaning a certain way of the aisle, right? And because there was the her co-star, Pedro something, who's awesome, by the way, like as an actor. He posted something very similar the year before, and it was a left-leaning thing.
Gina Carrero?
Yes, it is. It is.
Got it.
And whatever your opinion on this person is like whatever. But the fact of the matter is that she was silenced as an artist because she was saying what she thought was right at her time. And she said something. The comparison was a little overblown, calling it Nazi Germany, but I don't really think. I mean, because what she was saying was like, soon we're going to be turning on our neighbors, like, and allowing these things that we're going to be calling out our neighbors, and we're already there. And so I don't think it's that far fetched, but I do think that millions of dead Jews compared to our situation now is a little bit of a but
sure.
But
I agree,
but she's seeing where it's going, and it can go that way. And
I think it was a statement about progression and how we are going to progress to Nazi Germany and how we're going to progress to losing millions of lives. And I don't think it was as much as like, that's what's happening right now. I think if people don't start speaking up, that is what's going to happen in the future. Maybe not 5 years from now, maybe not 10, but definitely 15 to 20. You know what I mean? We're on the track right now to letting Big Brother control us. And something that I really want your listeners to peep is that Big Brother's goal is not to have to control us and watch us every 5 seconds. Big Brother's goal is to get us to watch each other. So therefore, they don't have to do as much work. There's less manpower involved. If we can convince the minds of people to start looking at our neighbors and saying, oh, they did this, I'm going to call Black Lives Matter this. And, you know, that's the beginning of us policing ourselves, which is the end goal of the elite and cabal.
That's another part of this too, is that, you know, you have these rich, white, elitist people making decisions for people of color and telling people of color what they think is best for them. That's weird. I'm Mexican, and the most popular book in this country is written by a white woman. What the fuck does Robin, whatever her fucking name is, white guilt lady, what does she know about the Mexican experience, the black experience? She doesn't, and she's writing, and it's this white guilt shit that's making these waves. So what's really interesting to me is that you have these white people who are on top of their ivory towers in fucking Silicon Valley or New York City or in LA, and they're fucking making these decisions, and they're all colluding together, and they're all like, this is what it is, and this is how people should feel. Now, on the other hand, it's worth dissent is very, very profitable. Clicking on something that makes you mad on social media is profitable. So why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want us to be fucking mad and fucking clicking on their shit? I mean, they're a corporation. That's what they want. They want unlimited growth. And Donald Trump was that for them, you know? And I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't care if you are or anybody is. I don't care for him. I didn't care for the whole thing, but still, I saw what was happening, and I saw the manipulation by the media and these tech giants, and I saw what was going on, and I don't care for that. I didn't care for Donald Trump and his bullshit, but I definitely don't care for the lengths that they will go to silence somebody, and you know, it's a very scary situation to think about, and to think that if we're not allowed to call power out, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. And what we're saying is it snowballs. It's not like it's tomorrow the Gestapo's going to march in, but they definitely were training us to call out people who weren't wearing masks, right? You know, there was definitely some hotlines you could call to, and so it's weird, you know, it's just a weird time. And I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. What do you think? What do you think we should do, Nittoli? What do you think we should do?
I am a Donald Trump supporter, and the reason that I am a Donald Trump supporter is because of what you just said. I saw what the media was doing. I saw how they were trying to shut him down. They were talking about his hair and his orange skin and nothing about his policies all the time. And for me, look, I was kicked out of every single, and I mean this, every single school that I ever attended. I was never in a school for more than 6 months before the principal, the vice principal, and everybody got together and said, we got to expel this kid. He's not for this.
He's got to go.
As far as authority goes, it doesn't agree with me, and I've never agreed with it. Amen. So I never want somebody to tell me what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. The moment I hear an inkling of that, I go the opposite direction. So I didn't care about Donald Trump for the first 3 years of his presidency. It was in his last year that everybody started telling me, don't support him. We don't like him. We're going to do this and that to you if you support it. And that's what made me gravitate toward him, because I said, listen, at the end of the day, this guy is against the elites. He's against all the big tech and all this stuff. And he's a president who couldn't be bought because he had his own money. So for me, I gravitated to the whole movement just based off that.
Yeah, and I see that, and I can see why people jumped onto the Donald Trump thing, because he was speaking again. He was speaking to power. He was saying some radical ass shit. He was talking about the military-industrial complex on national TV. They don't want that. They don't want that shit. Look. Yeah, exactly. And I agree. Well, as Trump did care about Trump, and eventually it kind of ate him. He ate himself there, but still, like, if you kind of step back and look past what people are saying, what information, what narratives are being sold, and you take a step back and you're just looking at it in a very policy-driven way, some of the things he said, I could agree with. Now, yes, Moving Dutchman, you know, and Heaven, I saw, you know, like, I see people, you know, they might not agree, and that's fine. And because, you know, I do think that Donald Trump was a fucking discredit to this country, and I do think he fucking mentally fucked us in a way collectively. But that's just because of his fucking rhetoric. If he would have came in and not acted like a complete jackass every time he was in front of a camera or had his phone, you know, maybe this would be a different conversation altogether. But he fucking created a lot of tension and you know, and was very incendiary in the way he talked. And I didn't care for that. Most people only care about themselves, sad to say, not just Trump. Yeah, well, I agree with that. Heaven, what were you talking about? Because I saw you said we lost millions of lives. It happened. I think we were talking about what did you say, Heaven? No, well, yeah, I think we were talking about COVID and stuff like that, but she said something, we lost millions of lives. It's happened. It's just wasn't acknowledged because the lives were not valued as they should have been. I'm not sure. I can't, I know we were talking something about that, but I can't remember what it was. If you can remind me, maybe we can go back to that because, you know, I think what she's talking about is like about people of color in this country has been sort of looked over. Which
yeah, I mean, listen, it's a funny split, man. I'm black and white. Like my mom's Italian, my dad's black, and so I'm split right down the middle when it comes to this whole generated race war that they're pushing. Yeah. And for me, it's like I've lived a very black life in the sense where police officers didn't stop and say, he looks kind of mixed. Is there some Puerto Rican in there? I don't know. They say he's black. Arrest his ass. Right. You see what I'm saying? So I never have people in a grocery store go, oh, he kind of looks a little Spanish to me. Should we not harass him as much? They just said he's black. So for me, it's like I had a white mom. I have a white family, but I'm black. So I identify as a black man. And I have white, you know, I have white culture in me. I have white sensibilities. I have, you know what I mean? Like I enjoy white food, quote unquote. So for me, it's like, I'm really split down the middle. And I had people who were not of color telling me that what I thought was racist and that I should be, you know, aligning with these Black Lives Matter mentalities. And for me, it was the most racist shit I ever heard in my life to have some white girl on Facebook telling me that I'm not black enough and that, you know, like when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Those kind of things are the most racist things I've ever seen. Now I get to go on Amazon Prime and see that there's a black section. And I go, that's funny. Black stories only. I was like, kind of seems just a little bit incredibly racist. So listen, it's a game that they're playing right now. They're trying to divide and conquer. And what's the best way to divide and conquer? It's black versus white and cultures versus other cultures. And they're winning. They did it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, one of my biggest messages is that I'm a fighter for the one race that we should all be concerned about, which is the human race. You see what I'm saying? So we're all humans. We all, you know, bleed the same blood. We're all from here, etc. Even people who are not from here, we're all people. So it's like, why aren't we doing something for that? Why aren't we trying to merge that and get us to be all together and all loving and all knowing, as opposed to separating us and putting black stories on Amazon Prime and Netflix and stuff? That's segregation. Yeah. That's racism. And they're just playing us.
Yeah, it is weird too, and then when you see like Coca-Cola telling white people to be less white, and it's like, oh man, it's like, yeah, it's funny, it's fucking hilarious. It's hilarious, but it's like, oh shit. No, I see what you're saying, Wallace, and yeah. So Wallace is saying that, you know, there's a black section because there for a long time black people have not, and people of color, which is just another way of saying, you know, switch the words around. I think POC is a little weird too, but whatever. What Wallace is saying is that white people have sort of been on top this whole time, and so all we've ever seen is white people on the TV and white people doing this, and hasn't been a lot of
Yeah,
positive and great book.
I'm going to disagree with Wallace. I grew up in this country. I've watched my MTV Jam since I was a young boy. I saw Tupac Shakur, Biggie Smalls, and all these people, Snoop Dogg Shakur. These are all the people that I grew up with who were at the MTV Movie Awards, who were at the Oscars. Denzel Washington's been one of the biggest actors in America. You're drinking the Kool-Aid, man. They're trying to tell you a story that's not really that true. I mean, I haven't seen or experienced real racism in a very long time. Do you know what I mean? Since I was a young boy, I haven't really seen people being like, you know, oh, he's got chains on, he's got earrings in, and let me look at him cross. Like there's a narrative that they want you to believe, and at the end of the day, it's like most people are just, you know, fun-loving, good people who don't really care about what color you are. I mean, you're going to have people that are obviously racist, but that's not the story of this country.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know that there's some argument for that. The story of this country. I mean, this country was built on the backs of slavery.
Sure.
And that's something that we can never forget. But I don't think it's something that we need to fucking bring up.
Tear down George Washington statues.
Yeah, you know, and like, you know, and what I'm even saying is incendiary to some people. And of course, I'm speaking outside of my race because I'm a outwardly white Latinx or whatever. But it's like,
are you mixed or what are you, bro?
I'm mixed. Yeah, I'm Mexican and white. It's funny you said Italian and black. That's my wife too. My wife and her family is Italian and black. A little mix going on there. Yes, if you fail to remember the past, you were destined to repeat it. And exactly, and that's why I don't care for this canceling shit. I don't think that Dr. Seuss should be ran out and burn his books. And Pepe Le Pew is gone. It's like we need to know that this is what happened. This has existed. This was the way that people looked at the world at one time, but that's not the way it is anymore. And we use this as a learning guide to what not to do, and that's what books are.
100%. Well, let me give it to you like this.
Please.
What's the best way to get rid of racism moving forward? So for our upcoming kids and our upcoming children, what's the best way for them to not know about racism? Is it to have a black section on Amazon Prime and to be talking about racism and making movies with Oprah Winfrey's The Butler, where they say the N-word 700 times? No, it's not. It's to delete it. It's to get rid of it. Don't even talk about it. Let's move forward. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And instead, they're like, no, we got to talk about Black lives and this, that, and this. And it's like, at the end of the day, if you really wanted to exclude something and forget it and move forward, you'd stop talking about it. You'd stop. I mean, I don't want to erase it from the history books, but what I'm saying is we're promoting this. We're teaching a 5-year-old kid who knows nothing about race. It's like they're going to know this time that we went through where Black lives had to matter and all this stuff. It's like, at the end of the day, if we didn't talk about that, if we didn't bring it up, the new generation would have no idea. And guess what they would be? Not racist. Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with that in a sense, but I know also that we're in this. I mean, the reality of the situation is that there are people who do get fucked over because of the color of their skin, and there is truth to these things. We do have to sort of build up a protective layer for our children. You know, like me and my wife have talked to our son, you know what I mean? Because he's dark. Right. And these are the realities that we do have to talk about. And I know that it kind of perpetuates things, but we do live in a society where, you know, he could get fucked with just for being brown. Sure. I don't think it's as widespread.
Knowledge is power. I want them the new generations to be knowledgeable and aware, but not so invested in it. Not like they're getting programmed to think about racism and talk about, like, let's teach them what happened in this country, sure. But as far as moving forward, I feel like it shouldn't be the hot topic. It shouldn't be trending on Twitter. It's like,
I think I saw racist. Is what race or pursuit? Yeah, I think I spelled everything wrong. I don't think I got that right, Heaven. So I hope I didn't make everybody bad. I don't even, because systemic racism is real. Is that something you agree with?
Systemic racism. I mean, at the end of the day, like, the powers that be are racist. You need to know the people who own this country are racist. So I believe systemic racism really comes from the system. You know what I mean? I believe it comes from a generated place, and the same people that are the Knights Templars and people who moved from, other countries to this country to promote their agenda. I don't believe that it's natural, if that's what they're saying. I don't believe that it comes out of somebody's heart unless they were informed heavily about racism. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't want to delete the idea that there's racist people out there, but the promotion of it, what you're seeing right now is promotion of racism. They're saying, oh, you want to watch a movie? How about a black movie? You want to watch all the black stories? And it's like, well, if I did, I'd find it on my own. I'll find the black stories. They're in there. Some of the most famous actors, Wesley Snipes, Eddie Murphy, Denzel Washington, and so on, are black. So I'll stumble across that myself, but you're promoting it to me. Why? To generate an emotion in me that is a racist emotion. It's not a purity thing. They're not trying to get you to know about what happened to people so that you feel bad and that you change your ways. They're promoting it. I see white people on their knees going up to random black people saying, forgive me for something they didn't even fucking do. Right. So I'm like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, that was weird. It was
a little awkward.
That was weird. I couldn't imagine being those black people, which I can't imagine being black anyways, but it's like, oh God, like that would be awful. I mean, I'd be laughing. I think I would just be like rudely laughing. Oh shit, we have a question. I'm sorry, Lovely Lace. Okay. Lovely Lace has a question. Nick, I like the way you think and the way you speak. Have you ever thought about running for politics in your area, your local area, and other things?
I gave that up when I was like much younger, and I got in a bunch of trouble with the police. So I don't think that's a possibility for my black ass, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, can you speak on it? What kind of trouble did you get to?
Like I just used to get arrested all the time, man. Like I used to get, fighting and drunken publics. I was arrested for drug use. All before I got on that TV show on Bravo, which really kind of centered me and grounded me. It taught me that I want to be in this game and I want to compete with the best of them. And so I left basically my whole old life behind me of kind of being a street thug and got on national television and started, just perfecting my craft. And it's been 10 years since. So.
Wow. So you were able to, that's awesome, man. Congratulations, by the way. Like I know that shit can be a trap. And that shit,
big time.
And I was same way, but mine was completely it was just drinking and drugging, and I wasn't much of a thug or anything. I mean, I did break into places and do stupid things.
Couple of B&Es, you bad boy.
B&Es and alleged B&Es and stuff. But that was like much younger. I mean, like very, very, very young. But like. Sure. In my 20s, I was a drunken, drug-taking degenerate. So
same.
It was just wasn't. Oh, here's a follow-up. Hold on. What do you think, Nick, about the new president keeping the borders wide open? Oh, Lovely Lace is off the leash, and especially with the COVID virus. Come on in and bring the virus with you. That should not have been done. Well, you kind of threw in your opinion there too. So, what do you think? What do you think of the border situation right now?
Listen, at the end of the day, my heart is very open to people who are in other countries that don't have the same opportunities that we have here in America. At the same time, I'm an American who wants the best for the country. So therefore, bringing in a bunch of people who aren't from here when we don't have our house set and when people are struggling here in America, it hurts me to see that. So I'm an American first, and I want my country to succeed. And then I want to reach out and say, hey, our belly's full. Come on down. Anybody come on down. Let us help you. But we have to have our bellies full and be in a place where we're not struggling and having homeless people on the street before we can do that. So I'm not like, let's close off the borders and not let anybody in. I just think that America should think about America first before they reach out a lending hand to other countries and say, come on down. We got food for everybody, because we don't. I see people come to this country and they're struggling just like Americans are struggling. I just passed down this LA freeway and the whole thing is blocked off with tents and people crack smoking and, that need help and that aren't getting it. So it's like, I know that there are a lot of other cultures that'll do jobs here that Americans will not do, that refuse to do. At the same time, I feel like we should just give a kick in the ass to those Americans before we start opening up our borders and letting people in. I want everybody to have the opportunities that America has, but I want to make sure that Americans have those opportunities first, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. And you know what? I have family who came over, and I have family who came over the right way. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like I have very, very, very close people in my family who came over, who were born in Mexico, came over here, did it the right way, did it the way, and living their life the right way.
awesome.
And so, like there is a part of me that I agree with you. As like I do want people to come and prosper if they want to get
Sure.
out of their country and they see an opportunity here because those opportunities, those outsider opportunities, outsider, God, that sounds awful. But bringing in outside ideas is not a bad thing because America, like that's what makes America great. We have this
Yep.
amazing melding pot, and we have all these different ideas from all these different cultures that come together
Yes.
and do some amazing things. So I don't think it's wrong to add more ideas from other countries into it. But
Sure.
I think you're right. I think that we do need to kind of re-examine it, and kind of because I don't know enough about it, but I know that those cages and shit that everybody was hating on Trump was all built and implemented under Obama.
Yeah. I'm happy you know that, man. Most people don't.
And I loved Obama. I still love Obama, but he bombed lots of brown people. Lots of
Yeah.
bomb, like
Sure.
just he took away a lot of rights.
Yeah.
But he spoke real good, and
Oh, great.
he looked good in a suit, and he
Yeah.
looked good in a suit, and he could sing some Al Green, kind of.
Yeah. That's true.
So I mean, he had some class that I don't know that I really respect, but there's some policy that really sucked ass.
Yeah.
Why do they take the Mexican border open? Oh wait, why do they make the Mexican border open? Some are illegal and some are legal, but if people in India or Sri Lanka want to come, they need to a need fulfill exactly. Oh, I see what you're saying. So why isn't the Mexican borders more stringent than the borders in India? Is that what you're saying?
Oh no, maybe you could tell me. 'Cause
Yeah.
I drove right through the Mexican border with no problems. This was like maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah.
But I drove to and fro, and they didn't even check our car.
Bro, I've brought. I shouldn't say that.
I was like, watch yourself. He's like, I brought 3 pounds of fucking cocaine.
It wasn't 3 pounds. It was like a few Oxycontins, okay? It was just a couple. I just
Just
needed.
8 pounds.
Daddy just needed his medicine for the week, okay? That's it. That's it. Golly. Oh, is that TOS? Okay, I'll stop.
That's fun.
Why? Oh yeah, I just asked that. San Diego charges nonprofits $10,000 to be able to pass food out to homeless people. This system is so effed up. So, charges? Wait a second. They charge nonprofits $10,000 to be able to pass out food to homeless. How does that work?
Wait, are they saying the football team, the Chargers?
No. Charges. San Diego, the city itself. That's where I used to live, and I moved back to Ohio from San Diego, California. So, which I don't know why I had to say San Diego.
I spent a little time in National City.
Oh, cool.
And, rough city, man.
That's
real. A rough city. Man.
It gets real down there. It gets real down by the border, baby.
Real.
It gets real. In America, you can get fined if you give food to the homeless. That is weird. I don't know why that is.
What?
I don't know. Wallace is just doing stuff. I didn't know that. Wait a second. What do you think about media under Joe Biden? That's a fair question. That's a question, I should say.
What do I think of the media under Joe Biden? I think you're seeing it. I think it's cancel culture and censorship, up the wazoo. I mean, look, the thing I really liked about when Trump was coming out was that people were posting crazy about, Q and about, underground bases and aliens, and a lot of stuff was coming out on Instagram that is now completely shut down. The Save the Kids movement, the Save the Children, all that stuff, was great stuff. They're trying to, stop pedophilia. They're trying to stop kids, from getting touched by older men and stuff. So it's like, why was that shut down? And you have to look at Biden's policy to ask those questions. I mean, Trump was very open and adamant. So was Laura Trump. About stopping child trafficking and human trafficking. All of a sudden, that's gotten a mute on it now. People are not talking about this at all. Right. And it's like, that's what I think of Joe Biden's media. I think it's censorship at its finest.
Yeah, I agree. And like the Q stuff, like, so I mean, because we can kind of go into the conspiracy stuff here too, because I know you like talking conspiracies and you're into
Yeah,
that.
I don't
So
want anything to happen to your
no,
channel.
but look, I mean, we're just talking about this in fun, and this is just entertainment purposes. Everybody, Newsweek legal feed criminalizing. Oh, look, Wallace dropped a Newsweek article about criminalizing feeding the homeless. Wow, only in America.
Yeah,
I love this country, but we have some problems. We have some problems. So, you were talking about the Q stuff and people, you know, and you can't even say that now without getting shut down. So whatever. I mean, like, here's the thing about these conspiracy theories is that some of them are actually right. And some of them are true, and some of these ideas have truth to them. And the fact, and there, it is a fact that there are child traffickers in this country, and that is a fact. You know, it's a fact that, because what was he saying? So can you kind of go over some of the stuff that that was sort of being said by Trump, that was being kind of the big things that were being said by Trump that people, part of the Q movement, were sort of picking up on?
Yeah, I mean, the big idea here was that, you know, that there are, like you said, child traffickers and human traffickers in this country. And Donald Trump, you know, got a lot of money to help stop this. You know, he started a foundation and a charity and all this stuff to combat it. And what you're noticing now is like that's kind of been relieved. People aren't really talking about that. You had people marching at Buckingham Palace, throwing rocks at the Queen's door, saying that she was involved with child trafficking and pedophilia. You know, there's a story about a bunch of missing kids that went missing apparently near the Queen's property, and that the Queen has been listed as a suspect. Jeffrey Epstein's island was one of the biggest parts of it. Trump got on and said that Jeffrey Epstein's island is something that we're going to hear about in the next coming years. And this was years ago. And then it happened. Then Jeffrey Epstein got popped. Then Ghislaine Maxwell got popped. Harvey Weinstein got popped. So you're like, this is happening. We know that the Hollywood elite are somewhat involved in child trafficking, human trafficking, and possibly even worse, child sacrifice. So this was all leading up with Trump's administration. Trump was against these people. He kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his club at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. This is all documented stuff. And he wasn't in that club. So if he's not in that club and he's fighting against an opposing side, Joe Biden, it's very possible that this new administration is in that club, is involved in this stuff. And that's why they shut it down completely and censor it like crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's weird when you start talking about the new administration and just so everyone knows is I voted for Biden. I did it. I voted against. Well, I fucking bumbling Biden. I fucking voted for the potato because I was voting against Trump. So I'm just wide open about that. And you know, fucking Democrat. God, I drink the Kool-Aid again.
This country, man. Everybody's got the right to do and say what they want. You know?
Exactly. And you know, I was voting against Trump, but like I felt like I was voting against my best interest, because when you look at what Joe Biden has been a part in the part of the country that I live in, he has decimated the Midwest. He has taken all these automobile jobs and shipped them over with his.
And where are you at, Mike?
I'm actually in Toledo, Ohio, which is just awful, but
way out there, man. Jesus.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's not a good. I fucking lived 3 blocks from the beach and OB in San Diego for 13 years, and now I live in fucking Ohio.
Wow. Was that the wife's move, or why?
Yeah, she's from San Diego, so she didn't care about California. I'm from Ohio, so like sunny skies, oceans, mountains, and shit. That was like amazing to me. My wife is not impressed, and. Well, let me tell you one thing. She's certainly not impressed about this city anymore. So she has figured it out. She has figured out what I already knew. I'm not salty, okay? I'm not salty. But yeah, you know, like the thing about Biden is that I voted against my best interest. He is sort of, part of his policy has decimated this part of the country. It's taken these jobs and shipped them overseas or down across the border. And then what do you do with people who are displaced from work, who are down on their luck, who are addicted to drugs? Oh, you pass a sweeping crime bill to put them to work and put them into slave chains because you stole their job, and now they're just sitting there being a drain on the system, or whatever you want to call it. And now we got to figure out a new way to round them up and put these people to work and get work out of these people, because they're just sitting there killing themselves with drugs and guns. So why not throw them in prison and make them slaves too?
Yeah.
So, that's what I voted for. And when you look at things, and we're talking, conspiracy here, but when you're looking at what's happening now, and when you're looking at how many questions he doesn't want to answer, and when you and when you look at how he's allowing executive orders to allow China to access our power grid, and then you see what China's doing to other countries and with their access to power grids. I think India has something to say about that, right, Mental? I don't know. Was India involved with something with China? I can't remember what country it was, but they just recently got into a power grid and started shutting stuff down. And I mean, so like when you look at how Hollywood is bending to China and how they're changing Disney movies and Marvel movies to appease China, and how we can't even talk about how this virus might not be some animal transferred virus, or that most likely it was made in a lab. And when you have the CDC and the World Health Organization lying for China, when you see all these things sort of come together, and this huge consolidation of land that is being bought by China in America. I mean, half of this city, Toledo, half of this city is owned by China. And we only sold it off because of the 2008 crash that was fucking created here as well. So it's when you look at this and you know that China has this fucking long running plan, right? Like they have this legacy plan that stretches hundreds of years. It seems like that this administration, along with his crony fucking big tech and Hollywood elites who support him, are sort of selling us out to fucking China, whose plan is to fuck. Yeah, well, I don't know how happy you should be about that, but
well, I'm happy that you're woke to that information.
But look.
Yeah.
This is just, wild ideas. This is not I'm not saying this is the conspiracy or anything like that. I'm just saying that when you look at things objectively and you pull yourself, and China's cybersecurity, yes, thank you. Last month, a huge city electricity crashed and became Chinese cybersecurity. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It was a big city that they used their cyber shit to hack, and well, they didn't even need to hack it because they had access to it. Now they have access to our power grid. So when you see this long term, like, I mean, do I sound crazy? Do I sound like a fucking lunatic? Do I sound like a crazy
I'll take
Q
it a
person?
step further and say that I think that the new America is China. I mean, if you look at the face mask and everybody walking around now not being able to speak their mind, and Winnie the Pooh getting, exiled, it's like, that's China. These are all things that come from a Chinese culture. This is not American culture. Right. And all of a sudden you're seeing people that are scared to talk and scared to say what they want on YouTube. Well, guess what? This is what I'm talking about when I say the Gina Carrera thing is just about progression with the Nazi Germany statement. We're progressing to the point where they're going to take YouTube down, and we're not going to have YouTube anymore, just like China. So it's like, at the end of the day, this censorship is coming from a much deeper and darker place with a much bigger agenda. Plus the money that we owe to China and the debt that we're in with China tells a lot. It tells a big story.
You don't sound crazy. Just a nice streamer with a haircut. Guys, thank you, lovely lace. Thank you, lovely lace. We better get some of these questions. We're gonna talk about your music career too. I promise.
Awesome.
We just wait here. What about people making women and kids go forward in order to get their forward? I don't get what that means. Mental. I don't understand that. What about people making women and kids go forward in order to get there forward. Not sure what that means, buddy. You're gonna have to rephrase that. Have you heard of the Great Reset? Thoughts?
Yeah.
I haven't. I want to hear about the Great Reset. Let's talk about the Great Reset.
I have heard about it. I think that we're kind of in it right now. To be perfectly honest with you, I take it into more of a analogy than anything. Like the Great Reset is us losing all of our TV shows that we grew up on. It's losing all the great music that we remembered that has some curse words in it, or Eminem talking about killing Kim on a record. That's the Great Reset. We're resetting everything, and we're changing our culture to match either China's agenda or the New World Order agenda, where you're under scrutiny and you're under censorship and you're under Big Brother's watch. It's like everything's changing right now, and we have to be careful with how new age we're feeling right now, because something that feels good in the moment might not look so good 5, 10 to 20 years down the road for your children. You know, you'd like to pop on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and all of a sudden you have some sort of new law that says that's not allowed in your country now because you were feeling some type of way and you voted and you rallied and said that only Black lives matter, without really thinking that all lives matter. I'll repeat that statement because it's the truth. And most people have been, disinformed and misinformed to believe otherwise. All lives matter. Doesn't matter if it's animal lives, Black lives, Mexican lives, Asian lives, Puerto Rican lives. They all matter. Everybody's lives matter. So what is this culture? What's happening right now? They're trying to segregate us. They're trying to, keep us apart and keep us opposed to each other. And they're doing a damn good job of it.
Wow. That was, uh-oh. Wallace says, no, you're wrong.
Tell me.
Exclamation points. Why is he wrong, Wallace? Okay, let me see what Heaven wrote here. Damn! The Great Reset was the name of the 50th annual meeting of the World Economic Forum held in June 2020. It brought together high-profile business and political leaders convened by the Prince of Wales and the WEF, with the theme of rebuilding society and the economy in what is claimed to be a more sustainable way following the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm on the website right now, and I mean, obviously I haven't heard of this, so like I definitely need to look into it. So I have no thoughts on it. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with that, but I also want to peep his mind to other, like, people have talked about the Great Reset literally being the technology reset of what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. It's also been referred to in the pandemic as far as us changing our lives and resetting everything. So like I said, I use it as more of a analogy than the actual Great Reset in which he's referring to.
I see. So Mental says also China overhauls the Hong Kong election bills. Oh, so yeah, I mean, China is, they're on a good one. And no one's mentioned the Uyghurs in weeks. The same day that Donald Trump is getting banned from Twitter, China releases a pro-Uyghur, women love being sterilized. They just love it. They love being sterilized and raped and murdered. They just can't get enough of it. Jesus.
Terrible.
Okay, so Wallace says it's about the police killing unarmed black people at a higher rate. No one said that only Black Lives Matter. Just stop killing unarmed black people.
No, they did. No, they did, Wallace. They said all, they didn't say all lives matter. They said Black Lives Matter. And what I'm trying to peep you to is it's a segregation technique that comes from old white racist men who are controlling everything, who are controlling the media. They're controlling this new platform that we're even talking on right now. You have to look at what goes behind that. So like, we're aware of Freemasons, we're aware of Illuminati, but something that Dick Gregory said that I really peeped my mind to is what goes behind that. What's bigger than that? So we know about the tech giants. That's great. Who puts them in power? Who pays who signs their checks? Just think in a bigger way, in a more linear way, and you'll see that at the end of the day, everything is controlled by old white men. So what do old white men want us saying right now? That Black Lives Matter, because it segregates us. It keeps us apart. It infuriates people as opposed to bring them together. If these people wanted us in the streets singing Kumbaya and talking with one another, there'd be a much different message that they're promoting on NBC and they're promoting on ABC. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want people to stop killing and raping and murdering people, well, then stop showing it every 5 seconds on television. Stop making content that only shows that. So that's what I'm saying when I say Amazon Prime has a Black Stories section. They're trying to infuriate you. They're trying to get you in a rage mode as opposed to, a conscious mode and an enlightened mode that tells you that all races matter and that all lives matter. It's my whole thing is about unity. I'm trying to bring people together and not bring them apart. And you'll notice that that's not the agenda's mission at all. It's the complete opposite.
Yeah, and not to take away that there hasn't been acts of fucking true awful violence towards Black people, and there has,
of course,
and I've seen it
yeah.
firsthand. I've seen it. Just
that's what they're using to infuriate us. The real truth that this shit used to really go down on a much bigger level.
Yeah, on a huge level.
Or ammo.
And I mean, it's like this point that a lot of people who get criticized for making this point is that if you look at like what racism was in the 1950s and what racism is considered now, it's like, well, there's a huge difference now. There's a huge difference. It's not the same. It's not, but they make it seem like it is, and I don't genuinely believe that most people just are sitting there with hate in their heart, like, I don't believe that most people or most white people think that. I don't believe that. But there are assholes out there. So I mean, I feel like a lot of this feels like a little bit of overcorrection. You know what I mean? Like, because there's
over what?
Overcorrection, like people, because there is these underlining problems that do exist, but now it's like, in order to fight it, we have to, burn Dr. Seuss books. It's like a little bit of an overshoot there. I think we can
look, if you show what is that movie with Hilary Swank, Boys Like Girls, I think it is.
Oh yeah.
If you show that movie of this like hermaphrodite getting bent over and raped by a whole bunch of guys over and over and say, this is what homosexuality is, this is what, being a hermaphrodite is like, that's what people are going to think. But if you show them that I grew up in the house with a gay couple that used to watch me all the time, every single day, and I loved these people and we had no problems and no beefs, then it might paint a different picture for people. So they're playing on the negative aspects of homosexuality. They're playing on the negative aspects of racism and being a Black man in America. You know what I mean? And the media is only hyping it. Songs with Childish Gambino where he's like, this is America, I got to carry a strap. Like, nigga, you write for 30 Rock and you're on national television making millions of dollars. You don't got to carry a strap. So why are you promoting that message? Because the white business owners who made you and the people that employed you are telling you that this is what they want. You understand? It's no coincidence that Oprah Winfrey, Tom Hanks, all of them are all on the same page. Does that really make sense to you? Should Oprah Winfrey really be on the same page as Tom fucking Hanks?
I mean, maybe. Right. I mean, we want unity, but yeah, I get what you're saying. And Reina was like, that song is not even good. And I agree. That song is not even fucking good. It's not even a good song. It's not even good. What is it? This is so good. I love it. Oh, well, thank you, Mental. I appreciate you being here to experience it. Okay, let's get some of these questions and let's talk about your music because I know you gotta go soon. So let's. I was talking if someone wants their motive to get past, they use women or kids. Oh, I see what you're saying. So they'll use kids and stuff. Yeah, especially at the borders and stuff, they'll use kids to mule drugs and stuff. It's gross. It's gross. It's not good.
Yeah, it reminds me of the movie Titanic, where Billy Zane, who's the bad guy, who's Kate Winslet's like guy who she doesn't want to marry, he's trying to get on the boats to survive, and he grabs a child and he says, "I have a child to get on the boat." Yes. That's what it reminds me of. Wow. As a weird analogy, but that's really what it takes me to, is that they're grabbing anything. They're like, they'll grab a black guy. I got a black guy. Will you listen to my agenda? It's like, man, just go outside and be kind and, have unity in your heart and have love in your heart and see how the universe reflects that right back to you, Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that you're saying incendiary things to a certain people, but you're also saying, I just want unity. I just want people to love each other and accept each other for who they are, which is like, why is that so radical? Like that
Yeah.
doesn't seem
Yeah.
radical to me. But to some people, what you just said is super radical. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just such a weird world where we can't
It's the new
even
world.
the great reset. Dude, how do you manage your output? Like how do you manage, because you put out a lot of content and you're writing for Warner Chappell, and Nick has written with Snoop Dogg and French Montana and a whole slew of other artists and stuff. So how do you manage your time, man? How do you make this happen? Because you're telling me like because Nick has to go, because he has to go release a new video, which so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I got you. So like, how do you manage it? Like, do you have a lot of scheduling that you do? Like, how do you manage?
To be honest with you, man, it's all just out of the love of it. I'm an addict, you
Mm.
know, at the end of the day. I'm a recovered drug addict. I'm a recovered everything addict. So for me, once I stopped doing drugs and alcohol and everything else, music became my drug. It's my thing. So, you know, if you knew how I did cocaine back in the day, you'd know how I do my artist project. I'm an addict about it, man. I love it. I wake up in the morning and I'm, you know, promoting my project. I'm sending my music to more people, and I'm doing music videos. I'm writing a new song. I'm always on the jump because this is what I do. This is what I love. So I edit the music videos. I do the effects for them. I learned how to shoot my own music videos. My girlfriend's a huge help to me, but for the most part, it's just us doing it. And, you know, that's really the formula behind it. It's love. I love what I do.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You got to be passionate about this shit if you want to do it
Very.
like that. I love that. I love that you made the analogy of your drug addiction to your
Yeah.
addiction to that, because
Big time.
that's a great analogy. Because I was the exact opposite. It was heroin.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, I was not the life of the party. I was the guy hiding in my room, fucking wishing everyone would just go away so I could chill. Yeah, that has to go. That energy has to go somewhere, and and
Yeah.
and that's, I think, what leads people down the wrong paths a lot of times in their lives is they don't have anything passionate to latch onto. And
True.
music was something that I was able to latch on early, but I wasn't able to really connect with it until I was sober, actually. So you know, like, where do you think that you deviated in your passions? Because you're a multi instrumentalist, and you
Yeah.
know, like, you do, you're producer, all you do all the things, and videographer, and editor, and all that shit. You know, where did it deviate for you when once drugs started coming into the picture?
For me, it's like at the end of the day, if you love what you're doing, you're going to go all the way. So for me, I was a writer in the room, not a producer at all,
Mm,
getting frustrated at the producer not listening to me. I was throwing, you know, paper out of the back of his head saying, why aren't you hearing what I'm saying? Do it like this, do it like that.
yeah.
So instead, my addict brain was like, well, I need to become a producer then. And then I became a producer, and then started working with people like Snoop Dogg and French Montana, and got my producing skills up to a level where I could start producing my own music. And then after I started producing my own music, I was like, well, these video directors are going to charge me like 5K, 3K
Mm.
to shoot a motherfucking music video. I know what my vision is better than anybody. So why don't I just buy a camera and start learning how to do it? And that, back to that vulnerability thing, I was scared. I was like, I don't want my shit to look terrible, but if I keep at it, if I keep doing it, then it'll get better and better. So once I was done shooting, I was like, well, somebody's got to edit this fucking thing. And I watched enough YouTube videos to learn how to edit. And so when I say like my addict brain has actually helped me, it really has,
Yeah.
because you know, and you have a lot of time in the day as a drug addict to just do drugs and find them,
Yeah.
go find the dealer, do all that fun stuff. And now I don't do anything. I'm like completely straight edge. I don't even smoke weed anymore.
Oh,
So
wow.
for me, it's like I got nothing better to do. You know what I mean? Let's just work on our music career.
What else are you doing? Well, you make a great point about when you're saying, when you were seeing all these different things, like, well, this producer's not listening, so I just need to produce. And then
Right.
when you saw that how much the videography is like, I just need to do it myself. I
Yep.
think that's a huge part of what it takes now to be an independent artist.
Yeah.
You know, and like, I don't know any artist right now that I really know who's like trying to go to Hollywood to make it in Hollywood and get the record
Mhm.
deal and fucking do that. Like, everyone I talk to is like, that's not my goal. I mean, there's a few people, obviously. I mean,
Sure.
it's a great goal, whatever. But most people I talk to are doing it independently, and people who are doing it successfully independently are doing it in they're doing it in ways, they're doing it all themselves, basically. I
Right.
mean, and they're becoming their videographers, they're becoming their own producers, they're becoming, you know, their own writers, because they know
Yeah.
that's just, I mean, otherwise you're paying people to do this shit.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Yeah.
an important lesson there.
Listen, I've been in this town I've been in Hollywood for a long time. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I came to Hollywood for Platinum Hit, which was when I was 22.
Yeah.
I'm 33 now. I'm still in the same town. So I've seen them all come in and I watched them all go out, man. That's like, because they don't have enough money. They don't have
Yeah.
enough money to, that's one of the things that I find is as a big secret to my success as an artist is I work with Snoop, I work with Neon Hitch, I work with Sam Bruno and all these artists. And I kind of watch them and I watch some of their mistakes. And I realized the game, you know what I mean? So when I was doing my artist project, I wasn't really coming in like a rookie. And I say that in some of my lyrics. I'm like, you know, I've been here for 10 years. I'm not really a rookie.
Yeah.
I know what's up. I know what's going to succeed and what's not. And I've always noticed that if you're doing it yourself and you're independent, just to a degree, I mean, I'm signed to Warner Chappell, but I'm still an independent artist.
Right.
in the way that I counteract with people and stuff, and the way that I do, you know, my music, it's very independent. So you have to do it yourself because nobody's going to see it like you. Nobody's going to believe in you like you. And damn sure nobody's going to work as hard as you for your own career.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that
was crap for me.
That's a great point. That was, I Need a Song, not TJ though. What? I don't know. Oh, you're talking to Reina. Never mind. They're over here having their own conversation. You're absolutely right, man. I agree with you so much. And it was when I realized that is when I was able to, well, I got sober, and I realized that that is when
Right.
my career was actually able to go, you know, like I was actually able to do something. And,
Right.
and it's so crazy how much time and energy you have left over when you are sober and you have nothing else to do but live with yourself and your thoughts and put it down. You have this you have like a very colorful approach to your videos and your imagery. Is like I'm just curious on what sort of drove that decision to make this, like, because like your videos are like wild, man. They're wild, and mad respect. I dig what you do, and you know, like, I love that you release a video like every couple of days, and it's like a new song, a new video, and that's crazy in my head. It's like, holy shit, that's a lot, but for you, it's probably just what you do. What was your decision for that look? Because
my aesthetic has always been that since I was a kid, man. Like, I've always loved bright colors, and when it comes to 6ix9ine, bitch stole my look, to be honest with you, man. Like, he just came out before me, and you know, he started with the rainbows and the unicorns, and I'm like, that's mine. So am I gonna deny who I am because some guy named 6ix9ine did it? No, fuck that. I'm gonna do me, and that's always been me. If you want to go back and look at pictures of me 15, 20 years ago, you're gonna see the same colors as a young boy. I was always Mr. Rainbow, Mr. Color. So for me, it's in my heart, it's in my soul. I see astral kind of colors and kind of like, you know, universe type of you know, weird rainbow feel on my shit. So that's what I put out, and that's what I rock with. You know, that's really me.
Yeah. Well, your videos do great on your YouTube and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
man.
How did
been very successful so far.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, what do you attribute to that? Because, you know, especially in a time of COVID and a time of musicians are scrambling to try to figure out ways to monetize their skills, what was your approach to YouTube where you got this kind of success?
My thing is, like, as much as I put out a new song almost every other week and I put out a new video, I put just the same amount of effort and energy into the promotion of stuff. I'm always emailing new people. I'm always trying to get my video on somebody else's platform that has a bigger following or on a playlist. I mean, I really work at this like a drug addict, man. Like, like I said, so I'm up all night. You know what I mean? I attribute a lot of my success to my drive, man. I'm very driven.
When the pandemic struck, did you notice a change in your work habits at all, or
When the pandemic first struck, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah,
I
everybody
was
was.
fucking scared.
Yeah.
So for the first couple of months, me and my girlfriend were just in the house, like listening to see if we heard any, riots or if the government was coming to knock on our door. At the end of the day, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I was just tripping balls for the first, half of this thing.
Right.
And then I realized that I had a responsibility as an artist and as a performer to people who were scared, that I needed to perform and that I needed to do something to get people's mind off of it. And in turn, it actually worked the same way for me. It got my mind off of it to perform. And so once we got back on it and shot a new music video, we just kept going and kept going. And I think we both realized, because like I said, my girlfriend's a huge help. She shoots a lot of this stuff. And so it was kind of both of us being creative and using the right portion of our brains that kind of got us out of the pandemic. And we haven't been back in a pandemic ever since that point. Like, we just been rocking. We doing new music videos, promoting them on YouTube, etc. And that's been, the vibe. We turned the news off, man. Turn the box off. And all of a sudden the pandemic is not in your living room anymore. It's only on CNN.
That's a great piece of information as well, is the idea of turning off. Like, if you're having a hard time, focusing on getting shit done, getting a project done, getting music done, shut those fucking notifications off, shut the fucking phone off, turn off the TV.
Create your own reality is basically the vibe,
Absolutely. Nick, it's 4:30 right now. What did you need to get off? How do you?
I do. I gotta start prepping for this music video,
which is
drop tonight. My new single, Forever. Promote that a little bit, plug that a little bit.
Please.
It's going to be an amazing music video. Hop on my YouTube channel, check it out. Everything's at Nick Nittoli, as you can see at the bottom of the screen here, NickNittoli, and give your boy a follow.
And also, guys, in the chat, people listening, you can find all his links in the show notes, and people watching right now in the chat, I just dropped his website, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Go follow him up. Give him some love. And he has a new video, new song dropping tonight. So
nice.
Nick, I'm gonna have to have you back on. We'll actually talk about music and your music.
Yeah, man, let's do this. This was fun. Thanks for having me, bro.
No worries. Oh shit, we have one more question. You good for one more? Okay.
Yeah.
Question: do you think reaction videos are a good source for getting videos out in public, like marketing, or a bad one?
I don't know too much about the reaction thing. A lot of people send me reaction videos from people on YouTube. I would go with, messaging big platforms, people that'll replay your song on their YouTube channel. There's a lot of different areas that I can go because I'm a conspiracy theorist. I was on BBC. I was on a national television show. So interviews are great. And like, this is a great platform. For me, it's like I kind of stick to those and more podcasts, but I have that they send me a ton of these reaction videos, so I know they're popping.
Yeah, right on. All right, thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate you giving us over your time and your information. And I know we went into the weeds, but you handled it well, so I'm glad we did.
I like this, man. This was fun.
Yeah, man, I had a blast. All right, Nick, you have a great rest of your day, man.
You too, brother.
All right, peace.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, that was Nick Nittoli, everybody. Oh, I was like, what happened? It's because I ended all the calls, or ended the call. Okay, so is anybody trying to do Cypher Deluxe? Who's trying to do Cypher? I know it's a little early, but Nick, sorry guys, Nick's out. By the way, thank you, Deadside. Thank you for being here, by the way. Thank you for hanging out. You guys can check your fresh level if you want. I got new stickers coming in. I'm pretty excited about. Hold on, I gotta take the cap loss off. You guys can check your fresh levels and make sure you stay fresh. There you go. Look at that, 95% fresh, baby. What's up? All right. If you guys want to do Cypher Deluxe, here is the thing. We will do it. If not, no worries. I'll get off and just go eat barbecue. So, can we play a game? Oh. We could do at A6, what the fuck? An auction. I don't know about auction. If we play a game, it's gonna be how much does it cost on Craigslist? But if you guys want to do, we can do a round of that, or we can do Cypher Deluxe, or we can just raid somebody. What do you guys want to do? We have time. So, oh my God, mighty. Is it because I didn't say Mighty Mighty? Hold on. Mighty Mighty. Mighty Mighty, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. That was so kind of you. If you guys are interested in Cypher Deluxe, jump into the Discord. If not, no worries. We can do something else. Oh gosh. Oh, I see. It's going over here. Here, I'll move this for Reina because she's been wanting me to move this. Ah. Okay, I won't move it then. Where did it go? Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Come on, baby. Come on, get it before it disappears. Oh, I know why it's not gonna do it. Where's the alert box? Alert. Twitch is currently experiencing issues with going live. What? Get out of here. Don't say that. Oh, there we go. Love the haircut. Thanks. Fucking enjoy it because it's about to be gone forever. Thank God. I hate this fucking haircut. I'm not even joking. Reina doesn't even look at me. It's not a good haircut, Wallace. You're being facetious. Deadbeat, what's up, buddy? Mike wants barbecue. What's up, Deadbeat? Look, I made you a thing. I can't remember what it is. There it is. Look at that. Find every podcast I know is dead at this link tree. Boom. We have not Dead Side. Dead Side is here, but Deadbeat is oh, and you just got a sub. Awesome. I'm glad that you like it here, buddy. So every podcast I know is a podcaster who is in chat, Deadbeat. Go and follow him on any of your preferred podcasting sources. He is also a music podcaster, and it's how I met Wonky Tonk. And I am also going to be on every podcast I know is dead. So if you guys are interested, go and link up with him there, and I'll see you in next month. I'll be on the podcast, and who knows, maybe we'll sit here and talk about a bunch of incendiary shit like we did here. Every podcast I love is dead. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm such a loser. God, see, this is what my wife keeps telling me about. She's like, you don't pay attention to shit. You don't pay attention to anything. Just going through life, doing whatever the fuck you want, not doing anything. All right, guys. Well, no one's signing up for Cypher Deluxe, and you guys didn't tell me what you want, so we're raiding. Who are we raiding? Who are we raiding? Let me see who's on. Who's on? Channel. No, don't give me that. Don't give me that. Uh-oh. Who's sending me whispers? Oh, okay. I just looked in the Discord. Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I'm all good. I'm hungry, so we're good. Julian is on. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do Julian. Let's do Julian. Let's raid over to Julian's. By the way, Julian's audio podcast just came out today, so let's go raid him just for fun. At Julian Belhumea. All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. All right, guys, we are going to go and raid Julian. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate everyone hanging out and doing they thing with me. Deadside, see you soon, buddy. Yeah, I'll send you a Calendarly thing. So we'll be back Monday with, oh my God, who the hell is on Monday? Alana Maddie. Alana Maddie is on Monday. So come back, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll leave the light on for you. Mwah! Oh.
So yeah, welcome to this. Oh my God, we speak English good. What is up, Mike? Oh my God, Mike, what's up, brother? Welcome in, Raiders. Yeah, I'm Julian, French Canadian. I play some tunes here. It's good to see you, Mike. By the way, guys, I did a podcast with Mike. I think it was released. Was it today, Mike?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. But I know it's on YouTube right now, or should be. So you can watch it. We streamed it live on Twitch, and now yeah, Twitch. I'm from Quebec, Canada. I am from Quebec, Canada as well. Welcome in. Welcome to Estonia. Welcome in. JD, thank you for the gifted sub to Mike. Mate, thank you for following. I'm Julian as well. Well, this is how I pronounce it at least. So yeah, why don't you know, this is Zinc, dude. This is just the after survives. Lazy Smeller, welcome back in. Québec, Costa Rica, no. Hey, salut Lolo. On va l'essayer tantôt. Je vais l'essayer pour toi. Je l'ai pas appris, mais on va l'apprendre ensemble. Waking up here to blue skies, and I'm waking up just a little too tired, but I'm still learning how to switch off. Been relying on my coffee a little too much. Not seeing through my eyes, oh no. People ask me why my bones don't show. I said this you is something that I've had. I said this youth is something I've learned to love. There's two sides to a kindle. There's two sides to a kindle. Being burns. Go around with no shoes on.
What? I'm trying to find. Oh, is there food here already? How did you get in here? Ah! Oh my God, I don't think I ended my stream.